Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the defining and honestly pretty tragic history of Galileo Galilei based on our source material. We aren't just talking about a guy who liked to look up at the stars. We're talking about an imprisoned genius. We're going to map out exactly how the sheer brilliance that unlocked the heavens ultimately led to a devastating earthly punishment. Right off the bat, it begs a huge central question. Why in the world was the greatest astronomer of his time imprisoned for life? I mean, we have this brilliant mind who literally expanded humanity's understanding of the cosmos, bringing the stars closer to us than ever before. So how does a scientific pioneer end up being treated like a highly dangerous criminal? All right, let's get right into it with Section 1, the imprisoned genius, an intellect whose discoveries set him on a dangerous collision course. Moving along to Section 2, looking at the stars, the early methods and tools that sparked a historical conflict. So what do we mean when we talk about telescope observations here? Well, it's the act of using newly developed optical instruments combined with high intellect to observe the sky and the stars in unprecedented detail. Now, Galileo actually didn't invent the telescope, but he did drastically improve it. But more importantly, he utilized his formidable intellect to actually understand what it was he was looking at. He was literally looking closer at the heavens than anyone in human history ever had before. And it was this specific combination of brand new technology and rigorous analytical thought that acted as the ultimate catalyst for discoveries that would shake the entire world. Next up is Section 3, the Copernican Revolution, the controversial theory supported by new observations. Picture this. For centuries, the established, widely accepted worldview, the one completely endorsed by the major institutions, placed the Earth firmly, unmovingly, right at the center of the universe. But then, Nicolaus Copernicus proposed a radically different model. He suggested a solar-centered system, where the Earth and the other planets actually revolved around the sun. Now today, this is basic science for us, but back then, it represented a clash of epic proportions because it completely challenged the very fabric of how humanity understood its place in creation. This idea sparked a scientific revolution, for sure, but it was a revolution delayed by centuries. See, Copernicus's ideas existed long before Galileo came onto the scene, but they lacked the definitive visual proof required to actually disrupt the status quo. The world essentially hit the pause button on this entire revolution because, simply put, they couldn't see the proof with their own eyes.
Which brings us to Section 4, Center of the Solar System, uncovering the specific proof that shattered an old worldview.
Galileo's method changed absolutely everything. Step 1, observe the sky with his telescope to gather the raw data. Step 2, analyze the movements of those celestial bodies over time using rigorous mathematical logic. And finally, Step 3, validate the solar center model. When he saw moons directly orbiting Jupiter, it proved once and for all that not everything in the universe revolves around the Earth. He finally brought the undeniable visual proof that the revolution had been waiting for.
Let's put this timeline into perspective. In the 16th century, Copernicus introduces the theory, where it basically just sits, largely unproven. Centuries later, Galileo conducts his groundbreaking observations, finally providing that definitive proof. But following this incredible discovery, Galileo faces severe consequences. This intellectual battle had been brewing in the background for hundreds of years, but once Galileo actually anchored the truth in reality, well, reality proved to be highly dangerous for him. And that leads us into Section 5, sentenced for life, the ultimate result of scientific validation.
He was sentenced to life imprisonment. Just let that sink in for a second. This perfectly highlights the immense tension between scientific discovery and established authority at the time. I mean, he wasn't out there plotting a violent rebellion. He was literally just observing the universe and faithfully reporting his scientific findings. Yet, because his hard data contradicted the accepted narratives of the day, he was stripped of his freedom. It's a pretty stark reminder of exactly how threatening new knowledge can be to old power structures.
So I want to leave you with this. What is the true price of scientific truth? As you reflect on Galileo's story, consider the immense personal sacrifices made by pioneers just like him. He gave up his own freedom so that humanity as a whole could understand our true place in the cosmos. It's a history full of genius, incredible courage, and a very heavy toll. Thanks so much for joining me on This Explainer, and remember to keep questioning the world around you.